why don't we go through the tail of the tape?
Okay, we got, it looks like Dana is 28 years old, 5'3", 144 pounds she weighed in. She is obviously 0-1, as we said, out of Elite Edge MMA. Now from De La Rosa, we got Ashley, who's 30 years old, 5'9", she weighed in 143, comfortably under the weight limit, and she's making her debut. Now, it's always nice to see people making weight. Both these girls came in comfortably underweight. It shows a lot of professionalism.
Jeremy, you had mentioned that, or I apologize, Dylan, you had mentioned that at
North Iowa Fights 9.
North Iowa Fights 9, Dana won Fight of the Night as a debut. I think we can all agree, when somebody's making their mixed martial arts debut, it's generally their most nervous, difficult fight to do. And when you win most valuable, like the most exciting fight of the night, it kind of tells you something of their character. And in our pre-fight conversations, Dana seemed like she was kind of cut from a different cloth, like she was born for this.
And interesting fact here, Dana fought last show at 170 pounds.
Wow.
He fought 170 pounds.
And then comes in,
underweight.
Way underweight, not under, but 2 pounds under the featherweight limit. You know what I mean? Very impressive. That's the great thing about, obviously she's curious to see what she's changed. She obviously has been working very hard, not just on her cardio, I'm sure, but on her technical aspects too.
She let us know she's training for a half marathon right now. Dana did.
And Jeremy, as somebody that's been around quite a few corners in a fight game, when one of the opponents says, yeah, I've been training for a half marathon, that is a frightening amount of cardio that you're about to face. Well, that is not what you want to hear.
That's the kind of thing that the Diaz brothers are known for, is doing that kind of thing. The marathons, the triathlons, whatever they're in, whatever they can get into for working their cardio.
I see their team in the tunnel. They're still waiting here.
I think, I see Ashley is jumping up and down. I think they're ready to make the walk. I'm not sure what the delays. It might be on the state of Iowa side, but once those kinks get worked out, sometimes the show goes flawless. So
absolutely.
And I hope it falls into that category.
And it could be one of those things, like you mentioned, the parade at the beginning. It throws people off for the first few fights.
And Dylan, I think you can agree, as being around many cage fights yourself, your fighter's not entering or leaving for the cage until they're properly ready to do so.
Correct.
Everyone's kind of got their little sinks, their little idiosyncrasies in their rhythm, and you don't want to take a fighter out of that, especially in her debut bout.
Absolutely.
So she's hoping to stand up. It's her debut fight. She has got strong cardio, 2 years of Taekwondo. I see Jeremy Cuttle in the corner and Jonathan James. I believe those two are going to be cornering her tonight. 5'9", 145-pound weight division, and I'm pretty excited to see what she has to offer.
She doesn't look nervous at all.
No, she's very focused. You got to feel a lot more confident. Your first time you fought someone at 170, now you're doing on 25 pounds. You're fighting a lot lighter individual, and you're obviously in better shape yourself. That would give Lead some confidence. And I know you said she lost her first fight, but if it was fight of the night, can you tell us a little bit what happened in that fight, Dylan?
That was Dana. That was Dana.
Oh, excuse me.
Her opponent. But I can let you into that fight. So Dana fought a woman named Jill Diddy. Jill Diddy's really tough. Kind of similar body to Ashley. Tall, long. She's tough. She's a tough fighter. And Dana did a really good job on the ground. But Jill...
she
muscled her.
And now taking their place across the cage, in the red corner, Dana Van Renterghem.
Well, we kind of already went through the stats. Let's just go through one more time. So Dana Van Renterghem, this is her second fight. She was 0-1. She lost a split decision in her first bout. She's 5'3", 145 pounds, fighting out of Oskaloosa, Iowa. 3 hours from here, I might add.
Yes.
And she wrestled for 5 years. She played college softball, which means she is a pure athlete, and she's got 2 years of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
One thing to look out for, she had hip surgery in January. She is coming off that hip surgery injury. So
that's not a bad surgery to go through.
Okay.
They say it's brutal for about 2 weeks, and then you can kind of find your rhythm.
It really depends. I know Nikita Kucherov from the Tampa Bay Lightning just recovered the fastest any hockey player ever has, and I believe that was about a 6-7 month recovery.
Okay.
And then he was playing in the playoffs. So hers might not have been as severe. It may have been. Either way, she's within the time frame of that. But
Well, let's also talk about some of the things that stand out in this bout. 5'9" and 145 pounds in the female weight division is considered championship height. So what we're going to be looking for is for Dana to see if she can handle the length of Ashley Rosenbaum.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our first bout of the night. Let's meet your first two fighters. First up, out of the blue corner. She trains at De La Rosa Submission Wrestling Academy. Sponsored by Fozzie's. Any lab test now. Huge Prince Boot Camp Academy. Joiner Family Dental and Manny Auto Repair. From Beloit, Wisconsin, Ashley Rosenbaum. And fighting out of the red corner, her opponent trains at Elite Edge MMA from Oskaloosa, Iowa, Dana Van Renterghem. We're on the schedule for 3 rounds of 3 minutes each. Your referee is Tyrone Roberts.
North Iowa fights from Mason City, Iowa. We are starting bout 1 between Ashley Rosenbaum and Dana Van Renterghem. And guess who is the referee tonight? UFC veteran Tyrone Roberts.
The native warrior.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, he definitely looked familiar. I remember him. Definitely seen him.
Dana Van Renterghem is very aggressive off the start for a clinch. Grabbing the clinch on Ashley Rosenbaum. Ashley is going to have to start using her size and length in order to keep a very aggressive Dana Van Renterghem off of her.
Nice jab landed there. The southpaw stance is giving her Dana a little bit of trouble.
She's looking to shoot. That's probably the safe spot for Dana, to be on the ground.
So Dana Van Renterghem is going for a double leg, and the underhooks by Ashley Rosenbaum was fantastic. And by her jabbing, you can see the Taekwondo background that we have talked about on her entering the ring. The way she's throwing her punches is from her hip.
And actually, some very solid shots were landed by Ashley during the exchange, but now Dana's right where she wants to be here.
Dana Van Renterghem, you can tell, wanted this fight to the ground from the start, and that's what she had mentioned, how she thought she would win this fight via ground and pound.
Do you know anything about the ground game of Ashley at all? I know she hasn't fought yet, but
I do not know much about the ground game. She's prepared to do anything, she told us.
So Ashley has got 1.5 years of mixed martial arts experience. She is not training in gi, so she is a white belt technically, but she said she's comfortable on her back, but she would much prefer standing up. With that closed guard, that she keeps enacting, it's more of hoping that Tyrone Roberts steps in and kind of stops the fight for lack of action and standing him up.
That being said, she's also landing some pretty solid shots from the ground. She's not losing this fight right now on the ground by any means.
No, she's not.
Dana hasn't really made any attempts to pass, though.
No. Or to really land any significant ground and pound.
Okay, so Dana is now in side mount.
Let's see if she can do something with this.
And I think Ashley Rosenbaum is going to try to get her back in guard.
Ashley did a great job wrapping her legs around Dana's right leg. She let go there, but
definitely very aware of her positioning, which is good to see in a debut.
Well, Dana's going to make this into a dirty fight. She's going to make it into a grind, and that's what she's doing right now. She's taking top control. We can sit here and say that she's not dominating the fight from top position, but she is landing, and she is in top position, which is a control.
Yeah, the judges are looking at Dana more than likely to win this round, and that's all you need.
The last 30 seconds, she's really turned it around, or the last minute, sorry. It'll be interesting to see how they score this round. Now she's landed like 3 or 4 or 5 significant shots, so I think I would have to give her the round. And
well, I think
there we go again.
There's several unanswered punches by Dana Van Renterghem, and Tyrone Roberts is watching in order to step in. Full mount. That round ended with a full mount by Dana Van Renterghem, and I'll tell you what, those first fight jitters might be kicking in right now. If I'm in the corner of Ashley Rosenbaum, if I'm Jeremy Cuttle or I'm Jonathan James, I'm calming her down. I'm telling her to relax. She was punched with significant strikes, but it wasn't things that may have changed her frame of mind. Like, she's still in this bout. You're going to have to kind of reel her in.
Well, and it sounds like, if cardio comes into play, Ashley used up a lot of energy that round, or Dana, used up a lot of energy that round as well. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, you can tell she's breathing very heavy. She had a lot of work, put in a lot of work, but the last minute was just a complete domination and definitely won the round.
I think Dana, you can sit here and say, well, Dana's only got one fight. There's actually a big emotional difference from your first fight to your second fight, and you kind of feel at home. And Dana seems to
corners down, seconds out, corner and back
in the cage.
If I'm Josh Neer in Dana's corner, I'm telling her to pass. Man.
You got Tyrone Roberts. He looked like he was close to stopping that fight at the end of that first round. You got Dana Van Renterghem aggressively taking the center cage.
Ooh, nice right hand.
And you know,
that
right
shook
now,
her a little bit.
Yeah. Right here is where Ashley wants the fight to be. She wants it on her feet. And Dana Van Renterghem was kicking with low kicks and punching high, and was kind of almost feinting like she was going to take a shot, but landing strikes instead. I think Dana Van Renterghem, I think that was probably the corner instruction that she had received in between rounds.
I think if I'm Ashley, I'm going to spend a little less time trying to hit her when she's trying to take me down, and I'm going to extend my energy and time on stuffing the takedown.
Which is...
she threw a punch immediately after you said that.
Yeah, and look at what it led to.
Yeah.
You know, she the first takedown in the first round, she had underhooks in. There was no reason to get taken down, but she gave him up, to land some shots.
Dana Van Renterghem is in top position right now, and she is starting to land more punches from...
You know, and if it's going to be 2 minutes of what she took a minute of last round, this fight will probably be over. Tyrone had to step in last time and take a close look. Not that it's at that point yet. That being said, Ashley hasn't really seemed shook as much as she's been. She gave it hard, but she's showing some
resilience.
Yeah, quality chin in the chin department. But this isn't a good position at all.
No,
we're going right back. We're going right back into full mount here in a second, I think.
Yeah, Dana Van Renterghem is achieved full mount on Ashley Rosenbaum and is
really
starting to land at will. This is a very difficult position for Ashley to be
in trouble.
And Tyrone Roberts is looking to stop the action.
Yeah, when you're in full mount, and she doesn't seem to know what to do. I mean,
I think Ashley's going to have to just position herself against the cage and start wall climbing, which is what she appears to be doing right now in order to turn.
And now Tyrone stops the fight.
1 minute, 3 seconds left into the second round, and Tyrone Roberts, our referee, stopped the bout.
You know, in some ways you could probably call it an early stoppage, but at this level of amateur fight, I definitely wouldn't. She wasn't going to get out of that position, and all we were going to see was another minute of that until he debated whether it was a stoppage.
You're absolutely right. It is all, like, on the amateur level, we want to be safe. And, Tyrone did a great job of being safe.
And some debuts should not be out there as if she's a world champion, fighting in a professional title fight.
You're talking about two people with under 2 fights combined. There's a learning curve.
Yeah, absolutely.
And right now, Jeremy, as you had said, we need to let them experience that before somebody, experiences something that they really should not at this level.
And props to what she did tonight. You know, whatever she thought she did wrong in the first fight, she corrected.
I say we make this official and send it to our ring announcer, PJ Stoppleworth.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout comes to an end 1 minute and 55 seconds into the second round. Tyrone Roberts, your referee, has called a stop to the action due to strikes with a TKO win for your fighter from the red corner, Dana Van Renterghem.
Good showing by Dana. And I tell you what, as somebody that's a 1-1 fighter in the amateur division, her stock just went through the roof, and there's a whole bunch of people that are probably understanding and looking at her right now from the Midwest in order to make her an addition on their fight card.
It helps when Josh Neer's in your corner as your head coach.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I mean, you saw the composure. You saw the composure and the drive. So we're going to let PJ take it back.